in a row. So first up, we've got Shanghai Night. It's got a 4-star rating with 455 Google reviews. Next shop down, we've got New Shanghai. It's got a 4.2-star rating with 631 reviews. Then it's over to New Shanghai Night with a 4.2-star rating and 687 reviews. And then last but not least, we have Flavor Shanghai, which has a 4-star rating with 5 reviews. So I want everyone to close their eyes and picture this scenario with me. You're in Ashfield. You've got a hankering for some Shanghainese food, you just want those xiaolongbao, but you're not sure where to go. And then you stumble across 4 Shanghainese restaurants in a row, you're overwhelmed by choice, you don't know what to do. Well, that's where we come in. Today I am here with Mum, and we are going to be rating these 4 restaurants by their xiaolongbao.
This is a very tough assignment, but I'm up for the challenge.
First stop, Shanghai Night. Really loving the decor here. We've got some very interesting selection of artworks on the wall that I'm really enjoying trying to figure out a link between them. Here we've got, it seems to be a unicorn. And then on this side we've got some blueberries, and we also have a montage to French patisseries up here behind me. So when it comes to ranking these 4 Shanghai restaurants, I thought we should introduce some criteria to make our job easier in deciding which one we actually like better. So I thought we could judge on price as a category, speed of service, like how quick it takes from ordering for the dishes to arrive in case you're looking for maybe a quick meal, and thirdly, the overall taste experience, which xiaolongbao we actually like the best. So here we are at Shanghai Night, and let's see what the price is looking like. Oh my goodness, check out the size of this menu.
Holy moly. You wouldn't want to be indecisive, you'd be here for ages.
There are 225 items on this menu. So it seems that their steamed Shanghai style mini pork and crab bun comes to $10.80.
Seems pretty good.
Seems good, but it doesn't indicate how many that comes with. If that's 2 or 3 or 10. So I guess we'll find that out. Can I just get one serve of the xiaolongbao? How many does that come with? 8. Oh, 8 is awesome. 8. That's pretty good value for money. $10.80 divided by 8. We're looking at $1.35 per xiaolongbao, which I think is pretty good. And in order to record the speed of service, we press start on a stopwatch as soon as we ordered. So Mum, I have a question for you. When it comes to xiaolongbao, what do you look for? What is your ideal xiaolongbao?
Ooh, I think it's all about the mouthfeel.
The mouthfeel.
It's that soupy soup in the middle has to be very flavoursome. Of course, it has to be scalding hot. It's not a xiaolongbao until you have third-degree burns in your palate.
I don't like the skin to be too thick. When it comes to xiaolongbao, the thinner, for me, the thinner the better.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, it has to be super hot because there's nothing more unsatisfying than getting your xiaolongbao and it's like lukewarm. Speaking of lukewarm xiaolongbao, these here definitely don't fall into that category. 12 minutes after ordering, out came our piping hot, freshly made xiaolongbao from Shanghai Night.
They do look very hot. They look like third-degree burn territory for sure.
Here is some vinegar and some soy sauce. What do you usually go for xiaolongbao?
My choice is vinegar.
Just vinegar? Okay. For me, I like a mix of the soy sauce and vinegar, but if they have it, a little bit of ginger as well. It's really, really good. Broth is very flavorful, very full-bodied and umami. I'm enjoying that broth.
It's very nice. It's sweet. It's satisfying.
It satisfies. I'm very happy with this experience. I've had better, but I've also had worse. I think 7 is a good thing to rate.
It is good thing to rate it.
I think it's a good solid xiaolongbao. It's not going to break the bank. It came very quickly. And honestly, $10.80 for a pan of 8 xiaolongbao. No, really, really good. It's yours. I give you the final xiaolongbao. Meg. I wouldn't be so generous if I didn't know I was going to have 30 more. We're going to be so full by the end of this.
Oh my god. I'm up for it. I may not have as much real estate as Blondie's dad, but I'm going to give it a really good crack.
That is it for stop number 1. Now for the long commute to stop number 2, which is right next door. I guess objectively speaking, this one next door is more popular. I actually walked past here last night, and while Shanghai Night was had some people in it. New Shanghai was absolutely bustling. There was a line out the door. This place looks really, really popular. And I actually just learned from the waitress at Shanghai Night that these restaurants are all owned by different people. So it's not the same person opening all these restaurants. They're all different owners, which I find quite fascinating.
Talk about being close to your competition. You're really eyeballing them, every day. Wow, it's beautiful. Quite a difference in the decor. It's gorgeous. You may disagree, but I like the ambience here more. It feels really warm and welcoming, and you just want to really eat everything on the menu.
Us Westerners were suckers for some nice ambience, some exposed brickwork. I like the shop next door's ambience because it kind of reminded me of a local salonbao place that you might find in Shanghai. Yeah, this is definitely not a representation of a local salonbao restaurant in Shanghai, but it's beautiful. What is it about Shanghainese restaurants and big menu cards?
This.
Here, the xiaolongbao are slightly more expensive, coming to $14.60 for 8 pieces. We're looking at $1.80 per xiaolongbao, which is still a few cents more expensive.
Yummy.
Yeah?
That broth is richer. It's more salty. Let's do the side test. Will it pass the squirt test?
For me, that skin is actually thicker. The skin is thicker, but filling is better. It's not dry at all. The soup is really delicate, full of flavour. But yeah, the skin is a little too thick for my liking, actually. For me, I would rate it exactly the same as next door.
I enjoyed the soup, and I enjoyed the filling more. So I would give that an 8.
The next one we're going to is I'm very intrigued by, because they've called themselves New Shanghai Night. The first restaurant we went to is called Shanghai Night. Yeah. The second one we went to is called New Shanghai. This one is called New Shanghai Night, which I'm like, what an original name. Okay, so here we have steamed Shanghai style mini pork and crab bun, $10.80. So same price as the first one.
It's 14 minutes.
So initial impressions, these are a lot larger than any of the other salonbao we've had earlier. So probably even better value for money here, because not only are you getting 8 of them, which is the same as the first place for the same price, but they're like at least a third bigger. So you can definitely see the difference look-wise between the two dumplings. So this one was from next door, from New Shanghai. We got 3 of them takeaway because we couldn't finish. So they're quite a bit smaller than the ones here from New Shanghai Night. But potentially these ones here are not as pretty. Thin skin. The skin is definitely a lot thinner than any of the other places, but there's a big hunk of meat in there that is a little bit dry.
And harder to eat.
So, I don't know. It's nice. I like the skin. The broth is nice, but I'm not a fan of the meat as much. So I'd probably give this, I don't know, 6.5? 6.5? Yeah. We have had 24 xiaolongbao. Honestly, how are you feeling? Almost. We've got one more store, and I think this is going to be our wild card for today. This is a bit of an underdog because it only has 5 reviews on Google Reviews. So, yeah, I don't really know what to expect.
I'm not feeling the vibe here. There's a lot less people in the store. It's not as busy as many of the others that we've been to.
So many lighting fixtures. We just looked up the reviews for this place on Google just to see what the 5 people were saying. And there's one really, really good review here that's saying, behind the day-to-day decor lies our local culinary hidden gem. I'm from Shanghai and I've been a regular customer of this shop for more than 10 years. I enjoy the authentic Shanghainese dishes that they make, just like the way my grandma and dad would cook them. No frills, no fluff, just old school style Shanghainese home dishes. So
that's a pretty good recommendation.
Yeah, maybe we're about to have the #1 salonbao of this whole experience.
Maybe our minds will be alone.
Pork and crab soup dumpling, 8 pieces, $12.30. So that's $1.50 for one salad bowl. Thank you. We forgot to stop the timer, but it was more like 15 minutes when it arrived. So it's technically the slowest place that we've been to for salad bowl, but only by a minute. I really hope this is the best one. I love an underdog store.
I do too.
It's really good.
It's really nice. This looks great.
Thin skin. This is my favorite. The skin is really thin. The inside is juicy. It's flavorful. Look at that. Look how thin that skin is.
Very thin skin.
Hey.
That's good. In a lot of respects, this is the best, but I have to say, if you could put the filling from New Shanghai into this, it would I reckon score a 10.
Yeah. I'm really surprised and happy with this salad bar actually, and part of me wants to rate it the highest just because it's the underdog. It's the one with the 5 reviews rather than the hundreds next door. Yeah. It's like a bit unexpected. What do you think?
I'd give it a 7 out of 10.
Now that we've eaten all of the salad bowl, it's time to, reveal which one rated the highest. We have a tie for the winner for our favorite salad bowl in this row of shops, and the tie is between New Shanghai and this place. So they both got the same score. So I'm really excited about that. And the underdog and the most popular one were the winners. And then second place went to Shanghai Night, the first place we went to, and then last place went to New Shanghai Night.
I think it's a fair representation of my taste buds anyway.
Now in terms of price, we had a tie for first place again in terms of value for money. It went to Shanghai Night at $10.80 as well as New Shanghai Night, also $10.80 for 8 salad bowl. Second place for value for money went to Shanghai Flavor, this place, and then fourth place went to New Shanghai with the salad bowl, 8 salad bowl for $14.60. Kind of expected that. It's a bit more of a fancy place, so yeah, that was more expensive. And in terms of fastness of quickness of delivery, quickness of service, which, if you're looking for a quick meal, if you just want to go in and out, this might be a good criteria for you. Speediest service went to New Shanghai. We got our salad bowl in 8 minutes. The next quickest salad bowl delivery went to Shanghai Night, the first place we went to. It came in 12 minutes. Third place went to New Shanghai Night next door. That was 14 minutes to be delivered to our table. And then this place actually won last place. But I guess there are less staff members here, less demand. So this was actually the slowest service. But, I'd happily wait an extra few minutes for those salad bowl. They were really, really good. So yeah, that concludes our salad bowl rating adventure here in Ashfield.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too. I think I'm going to have to wait quite a while until I have another salad bowl.
I think so.
Maybe the next time I have a salad bowl will actually be in Shanghai because I'm leaving in like 2 weeks now. Are you going to miss me? I'll miss you.
Right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Can you hear me and see my screen sharings?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, that's perfect. I envy them. Did you see how many Chinese restaurants on that street? Oh, like in Sydney. We can't even find one in Stellenbosch. There are 4 Shanghainese restaurants next to each other, and I think they really need to be more creative about their names. They have one New Shanghai and the New Shanghai Night and the Shanghai Night and Old Shanghai, and there's another one, Old Shanghai Night. Right, open your own in Stellenbosch. Well, that's a good idea. We should try to do that. But sushi is not Chinese. Sushi has nothing to do with Chinese. Well, maybe most of the sushi shops owned in this country are owned by Chinese people, but that is only because it's easy to make. I mean, it doesn't require any specific technique in cooking, and with all pretty good how I rate of return, right? Okay, let's continue from where we have left it yesterday. And we have several things to clear up yesterday. But before that, let's try to read them. Right, old routine. Right, let's read these new words, so-called new words, together again. Repeat after me. 第12课 read them out loud. 你要茶还是咖啡？课文1生词学期门兴趣课对书法太极拳感兴趣可是一样选还是下 Okay. 学期 we discussed to study, and the period of study, that is your semester or term, depends on the context. 门 as a noun means the door or the gate, right? 大门 the big gate, the main entrance. As a measure word, it's used to measure a subject, a discipline, a field of study within the university context. 兴趣 interest as a noun, 兴趣 interest. 感兴趣 this 感 actually works as a verb here, to feel the interest in, right? Translated to English, be interested into. And you need a preposition to link these together. The preposition here we use is 对 against, regards, consider, right? 对什么什么感兴趣 This is a fixed structure. There's no reason why it is like that. It is just like that. 对什么什么感兴趣课 is one of your course or subject or one course we are taking. For example, you are 上课 now. 你们现在在上课 right? 书法 Chinese calligraphy. It may not be very IQ actually. It's not only the Chinese calligraphy. There's different calligraphies, right? In other languages. 书法, but the Chinese one is particular different to each other because it's use a different pen. I'll show you. I think I showed you this. The ink brush looks like this, and you write in this way. This is really not easy. I've tried when I was young, but I failed. We normally have a 兴趣课. I think this is what we're going to discuss today. Yes, 兴趣課. We normally would have 1 or 2 兴趣課 after class, not credit bearing in your first year to take you to try this Chinese calligraphy in the normal situation. But no. 太极拳 is another type of 兴趣课 which we don't offer here because nobody knows. Well, unless Ellen knows how to do that, but I don't. This is the misconception of all Chinese people knows Kung Fu is some kind of, mystery hanging over in the air that I really don't understand why people think in that way. Okay, 感兴趣 we discussed those be interested in 感 here to feel serves kind of a verb. Okay, 对什么什么感兴趣 this is the core function. One of the core function that you have to remember from lesson 12. 对什么什么感兴趣 be interested into what 对什么什么感兴趣 We discussed 可是 yesterday as well. 可是 as same as 但是 99 after 100 chance they work the same, function the same. It's only slightly 可是 less formal, right? And we left it over here yesterday, and we're going to look at number 10. Can you use the 门 in a sentence, please? Okay. Miss Kiss, can you tell me how many subjects you took from the university this year? It's Kinston Semi, sorry my pronunciation. How many subjects do you take for this year from university? Can you hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I think it's usually 6 per course. You can't hear anything. Miss Kirsten, can you hear me now? Okay, yearly 6. Okay, let's assume you do 6, right? Let's assume you take 1 psychology, 1 computer science, 1 Chinese, 1 French, 1 German, and 1 geography sort of thing. Let's assume you take 6. I take 6 course this semester. I study. Let's make it simple. I study 6 course semester, 6 subject this semester. How do we say that in Chinese? Just think about it. How do we say that? We have the subject, which is?
I, 我
Study?
学习
学习. Thank you. 6?
6
六, right? That's what I want. We have a 6 subject course. 课, right? And we need a measure word. 门. Right? This is when you use a measure word, when you count a specific noun in quantities, you need a measure word together with it. This semester,
这个学期
okay, 这个学期. And we said the time adverbial, we normally don't put it at the end of sentence, we put it
at the beginning.
at the beginning or immediately after the subject, right? When it's a little bit longer, or we want to emphasize, we put it at the beginning and separate them with comma. 这个学期我学习6门课. And for example, if we are taking both Chinese and French at the same time, then you are taking 2 foreign languages course, right? Then how do we say 2 foreign languages course.
两门外语课。
Perfect. 两门外语课 Right. 这个学期我学习两门外语课。Miss Kirsten, can you hear us? Right. I would recommend you to. Oh, you can. Okay. Do you understand how to use the measure word of 门? Great. Perfect. Okay, that's very good, guys. Please stop me if you don't understand anything. We left over here. 可是 yesterday.
罗老师
Yes.
那个字 that sentence that 句子 do you have to put a comma after the 学期 or could you just put it in one sentence? Because I never know, because I don't often see commas in whenever you look at Chinese writing, so I never know whether one should put one there or whether one shouldn't.
Okay. Why do we put this in front of sentence? Because that is a time adverbial. Do we understand that part? This is, we put it in front of a sentence is because it's a time adverbial, this semester, indicating the time, right? And for the time adverb, we can put it at the beginning of the sentence, or we can put it immediately after the subject before the predicate. We learned that, do you remember? For example, we can say, 我这个学期学习两门课, right? So this one equals to this one. Do we understand that?
Mm-hmm.
The only difference is the position for the time adverbial, right? And when we put the time adverbial at the end of a sentence, according to the there's a working acting standard Chinese grammar, one should put a comma in between. However, if you don't see any Chinese people do that, that's just is. That means they probably were not educated, or not just trying or not adhering to that rules 100%.
Okay, so if the subject isn't at the if the subject is after the time adverbial, then you put a comma between the subject and the time adverbial, and if it isn't, then there's no comma.
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Okay, pleasure. Right. I miss anything? Oh, Carla said she would like an authentic Chinese version. I would like that as well, but we don't have. Okay, number 10, 一样. 一样 is, we learned the different word with 一. What do we remember? That any other words starting with 一? How do we say in general? General adjective.
一般.
一般, right? How do we say all together? Together.
一共.
一起.
Right, both 一起 and 一共 are correct. 一共 is when you're counting together in summary, and when you're doing something together with someone, that is 一起. Thank you. Now today we have 一样, right? So they both start with 一. 一 has a meaning. Besides mean number one, and the metaphor of being number one is being the same, being together. And that's why I think you could understand why it is 一般一共一起, because in summary, you put everything together. You're doing something with someone, you're doing two as a one, right? 一般, you pull everything in general. You see a group of people in one. That is the metaphor of being number one. This is the same thing. Young, the outfit, the out form, the looking. So young means the same. Okay, A and B are one. That is what E means. Right? At the same time being the number and as a metaphor of unity. For example, young as an adjective meaning identical, two things are identical, two things are same. How do we say these two books are the same? How do we say these two books?
这两本书一样。
Good. This is what I want. 这两本书一样. Right? Because when young being an adjective, Chinese adjective doesn't require a verb be. Right? It would be wrong if you say 这两本书是一样. Okay, so it is just 这两本书一样. These two books are the same. Okay, and we need to learn the negator of that. As an adjective, normally we use 不 to negate an adjective. When 一样 means the same, so 不一样 would mean
Not the same.
right. She and her sister are not the same.
"她和她的姐姐不一样。
Thank you. 她和她的姐姐 or 妹妹 because sister could be 姐姐 or 妹妹 in Chinese unless you specify, right? So you just naturally discovered the fixed structure of as same as something, and we need the conjunction of 和 or 跟. So please all look at the right side of my screen. We have the second core grammatical or language function within lesson 12. Number 1 is 对什么什么感兴趣. Number 2 is 和什么什么 or 跟什么什么一样. How do you remember this? This is as same as 跟什么什么 or 和什么什么一起. Remember? 跟什么什么和什么什么一起 doing something, right? Together with somebody to do something. Let's do a quick review on this function. I, with you together, go to the library. Correct. Can we put 一起 in as well?
我跟你一起去图书馆。
That's it. Perfect. 跟 somebody 一起 do something, right? Do something together with somebody. 我跟你 or 我和你 same thing, works as same as the other. 一起去图书馆. Right? And with the same formula, A and literally 和 means and, right? Or 跟 means with. A and B are the same. A and B are not the same. 我的书和他的书一样。What does that mean?
My book and his book are the same.
Thank you. 中国人和日本人不一样。
Chinese and Japanese are not the same.
Right. And you can change this 和 to 跟 change this 和 to 跟 they work exactly the same. But however, there's a preference or theorism of using this, but that's maybe only me, eh? By that I mean I normally use 跟什么什么一起 and 和什么什么一样, not other way around. This is only me maybe. 和什么什么一起 is also correct. 跟什么什么一样 is also correct, but it's just more easy for me to 跟什么什么一起 and 和什么什么一样 to separate them. But the 100% depends on yourself. Right? One practice. 美国英语和英国英语。美国英语 is
America.
英国英语 is
British English.
British English. Are they the same or not the same in Chinese? Perfect. They are not the same, right? Your cell phone and my cell phone.
Ni de shouji he wo de shouji bu yang.
不一样. Don't forget that E, because E means same, harmony. You and your brother are not the same. Very good. Now let's try to make a question. Your Chinese is your Chinese and his Chinese the same? This is a simple question. What do we do with a simple question?
We use ma.
We use ma, right? Yes, continue, sorry.
你的韩语跟他的韩语一样吗？
Thank you. 一样吗? Right, let's do a little bit twisted, a little bit. Isn't teacher A as same as teacher B?
Lao Shi A 和老师 B 不一样吗？
不一样吗? Please, we need to pronounce this E clear. 不一样吗? Right. We don't need to, this is the same thing. My habit and her habit are the same. How do you say that in Chinese? 爱好 habit, hobby. We'll see that. Oh no, I think. Yes.
我的爱好和他的爱好一样。
Right, thank you. Good. Do we understand the structure A 和跟 B 一样 or 不一样。Right, that's perfect. Good. Next one, number 11. 选 it's not difficult for this verb to explain how this verb works, but it's made difficult for you to pronounce it. 选 let's do that. 选 last one. 下 number 1. 学 so we have 学 选 下 选 okay, pay attention to the pronunciation of 选 选 as a verb mean to choose or to select, right? Let's try to question pronoun which in Chinese.
Is it
Na.
na?
Nah, that's correct. Yes, trust yourself. A and B. Which one do you choose? A and B, you choose which one?
A 和 B， 你选哪？
Right. One, how do we say one in Chinese? 一. Right. 你选 A 和 B, comma, according to the correct grammar. 你选哪一? We haven't finished. Sorry, 哪一个? You need a measure word of those because the answer would be the complete form will be 一个 A or 一个 B, right? And we use the measure word 个 because we don't know what we're talking to, and we just use the general measure word. Whereas there's a number and there's a noun, A or B, we need a measure word. So those should be A and B. You choose which one. Oh, she and her best friend. Who you are going to choose? Be your fiance. It's a little bit evil. Right, but you get my point. She and her best friend, whom you are going to choose. In Chinese, what order will be? She and her best friend, you choose who? How do you say that?
他和他的朋友，你选哪儿？
Who? Who or whom in Chinese, the pronoun, question pronoun who or whom in Chinese is?
谁?
Thank you. 他和他的好朋友 friends 朋友好朋友 best friend 你选谁 Right. So this is a normal verb. Okay, it works as all the other normal verb, meaning to choose or to select. Or we have three subjects. I choose Chinese and English. We have 3 foreign languages as our subjects. I choose Chinese and French. We have 3 courses, 3 subjects, 3 fields of study. I choose Chinese and French. 3 foreign language courses, sorry.
我们有3门外语，我选汉语和
Thank you.
法语。
And 法语 perfect. 我们有3门外语课，我选汉语和法语。Right. You need to trust yourself. You can make a quite complicated Chinese sentence now. You just need to trust yourself. Okay, well done. Or, if we look at number 12, 还是 or conjunction. Or A or B. The only difference between A and B, A or B, is you can only choose one. Right? For example, we have 2 foreign language courses. Chinese and French. You choose Chinese or French. How do we say that? We have 2 foreign language courses. You choose Chinese or French.
我们有2门外语课，你选汉语还是法语吗？
Thank you. 我们有2门外语课。It may not make sense logically, but that's my point. 我们有2门外语课，你选汉语还是法语？ What you've just done is you just basically use your own intelligence and to point out or summarize how we are going to use the grammatical point number 3. Okay. 还是 let's just use this, look at this together. 还是用于疑问的 is you said 你选汉语还是法语吗？ In this case, we don't need a mark because this is another different point, different type of the question, which is called the alternative question, right? 还是用于疑问句 is used in the interrogative sentence, 表示选择 indicating an alternative. For example, 你是老师还是学生? What does this sentence mean?
Are you a teacher or a student?
Right, you teacher or student. We need to pay attention to this. First of all, when you see 还是 and a question mark, this tells us it is a type of question, which is called the alternative question, right? So when you form this type of question with 还是, don't forget the question mark at the end of a sentence. 你喝茶还是 喝咖啡. What's happening with this 喝 here? You can decide to repeat the same action, verb, to drink, or you can just leave it up because there's one here. Right? The sentence means?
Do you drink tea or coffee?
Correct. 你早上跑步还是晚上跑步? We haven't learned 跑步, right? 跑步 here, run, jogging. 你早上跑步还是晚上跑步? What does this mean?
Do you jog in the morning or the evening?
Right, you run in the morning or in the night. What's the difference between, what's the function for the alternative question? It is basically offers you an alternative answer for you to choose, right? And we said we don't add ma at the end of those because ma is a particle or indicator for a simple sentence. However, you can add a thing behind these kind of question, which is n. We learned the n number 1. Who remember what the n number 1 function is? This is n number 2, right? We learned the number 1.
It was used in the context of Nina, like and you.
Right. It forms a ellipsis meaning when the context is sufficient that you don't need to repeat the first part of the sentence. For example, I'm a Chinese. 你呢? 我是中国人. 你呢? I don't need to ask which country are you come from to repeat that long sentence. The number 1 function is to form an ellipsis question with a comma. 你呢? 他呢? 他们呢? Right? N function number 2用在特殊疑问句 special question. What is a special question? Is a question that requires a question pronoun. 哪儿, 谁, 什么. Right? Requires a question pronoun. These are special questions. Alternative question. We just saw that. A question that's formed with 还是. Affirmative negative question. Anyone remember what this is?
对不对? That kind of thing.
Thank you. Adjective 不 adjective. Verb 不 verb. 是不是, 起不起, 行不行, 吃不吃, 好不好. Right? For these 3 kind of questions, that at the end of these questions, we don't put a ma, right? You only put a ma when there's a simple question. You can decide it to put a n at the end of these questions. For example, we can do this. 你是老师还是学生呢? 你喝茶还是咖啡呢? 你早上跑步还是晚上跑步呢? What does it do? It doesn't do anything on meanings. It only used to express an empathetic tone of a question. Right? It doesn't change the meaning or the function of the sentence. It just changes emotionally of the tone. Right? 这是谁的书? Same as 这是谁的书呢? 我去还是不去? Same as 我去还是不去呢? 我买, 你买不买呢? This is interesting. What does this one mean in English? Number 3, 我买, 你买不买呢? My means?
Going to buy.
Going to buy. Are you buy or not to buy? Perfect. 我买, 你买不买呢? You see there's a comma here as well. This is the same thing. Just remember, when there's not a simple question, meaning a question and with ma and question mark. And we have 3 types of no simple questions so far. 1 is the special question, and these types of questions require a question pronoun. And we have the alternative question. This question is formed with 还是, linked A and B with a question mark. And we learned affirmative negative question, that is adjective 不 adjective, verb 不 verb. For these three types of question, or you can just remember for no simple question, if you want, you can add a no at the end of the question before the question mark. It doesn't change the meaning or the function of the sentence. It purely expresses an emphatic tone of a question. Great. We come back to our lesson number 1. Number 13, sorry. 下 as a noun means next, right? But as a verb or as an adjective, it can mean, as an adjective, it can also mean the next. As a verb, it can indicating something to finish, like 上 indicating something to initiate, like 上班上学. So we have the same thing here. We have a 下班, your work is over. 下学 is not very commonly used nowadays. It was previously. We normally say 放学 now. We'll discuss that later when we see the exactly examples. My point is, when you try to remember 下, how the function and the meaning of 下, we should put that together with 上, then you could understand and remember better. Okay. 语言学院 Last one, 语言学院. 语言 means language, right? Language in general. Chinese language, French language 是一种语言. The major word for language is 种. 种 means a type of things. 中文是一种语言. Chinese is one type of the language. 学院 institution. 院 means institution. We have a 法院. 法 means the law. 法院 is your court. Right? Would it be correct to say 下学期我学习法语? That's perfect. Next semester I'm going to study French. That's correct. 学 means to study. An institution that you study is an educational institution. It can be a college, can be a school, can be a university. 语言学院 is normally one department within the university, or it is an independent language college or language school. How do you translate? It really depends on the context. Okay, now let's read these so-called new words together, and we will read through the text. Repeat after me. Think about the meanings. 学期门兴趣课对书法太极拳感兴趣，可是一样选还是下语言学院。这学期语言学院有6门兴趣课。我对书法、太极拳很感兴趣。可是这2门课上课时间一样。我选书法还是太极拳呢？这学期我想选太极拳。下学期我再选书法吧。Right? Now let's look at them one sentence by one sentence. 语言学院 we just discussed this. Language college, language institution. 这学期 means
this semester.
the semester or this term. There are 6门 6门 of 课 of course of subject. What kind of subject? 兴趣课。兴趣课 is a typical kind of course that designed to motivate your interest into certain things. It's not a credit-bearing course, right? For example, learning how to write Chinese calligraphy, how to play Taiji Kung Fu, how to listen Chinese music or watch film, right? We normally do this here as well in the normal situation. So 兴趣课 is one type of 课. How many do they have this semester? 6 门 of them. 我对书法太极拳很感兴趣。对什么什么感兴趣 be interested into something, right? At least if you had to remember at least one of the things from lesson 12, please remember this one. I am interested, I regards calligraphy, Taiji Kung Fu, very much interested in. But, 可是 these 2门 course 上课时间 what does this mean?
Classes start at the same time.
Class time are the same. I'm very much interested into the Chinese calligraphy and Taiji Kung Fu. However, these 2 courses start at the same time. 我选书法还是太极拳呢 Grammatical number 3, alternative question. What does the sentence mean?
Should I choose calligraphy or Tai Chi?
Right. So I figure out the solution. 这学期我想选太极拳，下学期我再选书法吧。再 means something you do that later again. What do you do later again? Choose. The action of to choose, you do that later again. So what does that mean, this long sentence?
This semester I choose Tai Chi Chuan, and next semester I will choose calligraphy.
Right. You miss one tiny thing. 想. 想 means?
I want to.
I want to. So basically I'm thinking, okay, this semester, let me first have a try to choose the Taiji Chuan, and next time we do the calligraphy. Okay. If we understand what I have explained from the vocabulary, we should be okay with this, right? So you have the language point, 兴趣课 language point 对什么什么感兴趣 language point 和什么什么一样 language point 4 alternative question 想 and 在 will basically review of what we learned previously. Do we understand this short paragraph or not? Okay, that's perfect, perfecto. Now let's read this together in a normal Chinese speed, and we call it today. Repeat after me. Make sure you do read them out loud. Okay. 课文1，这学期语言学院有6门兴趣课。我对书法、太极拳很感兴趣，可是这2门课上课时间一样。我选书法还是太极拳呢？这学期我想选太极拳，下学期我再选书法吧。Are you able to catch up with me?
Mostly.
Okay, good. Now let's try even a little bit faster. Second time. Ready? 课文1， 这学期语言学院有6门兴趣课，我对书法、太极拳很感兴趣。可是这2门课上课时间一样，我选书法还是太极拳呢？这学期我想选太极拳，下学期我再选书法吧。Let me know who was able to catch up with me. Almost. Perfect. Brilliant. That's what I want to hear. Right, guys. So it's fun for me, hopefully for you as well. Thank you for today. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye bye. 谢谢，再见。
谢谢老师，
谢谢老师。
谢谢你。
谢谢老师。
拜
谢
Mr.
谢，再
Harris。
见。
拜拜 Miss Alkin，再见。拜拜 Skelly，拜拜 Lindica。
谢谢老师，再见。
谢谢，拜拜 Mr. Bushras。Thomas，再见。That's it. 再见 Miss Bella。